Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Happy News Group podcast. I'm excited to be talking with uBreakiFix multi-franchise owner Susan Wright today. We've had a few people on the podcast that have shared their stories about the tornado and how that impacted their business, their lives personally. And my understanding is that you at uBreakiFix, that you guys specifically kind of went above and beyond in that situation. Tell me a little bit about, how did you guys experience this tornado and this crisis?
So I've been fortunate to live here over 35 years, and we went through the first tornado. We've been through the floods. And you always hear it's the Nashville way.
Yeah.
Well, it is. That isn't a slogan. It is who we are as Nashvillians, which I feel very much a part of being a Nashvillian since I've been here so long. And the great part behind all this is when the tornadoes hit, my team came to me and said, okay, what are we going to do?
Oh, wow.
And that's whenever you know that your culture is really the right culture, because, my managers are looking at me and going, how are we going to help our community of Nashville? And as we were having these discussions locally, our corporate office called. And as I mentioned before, Assurian now owns our corporate headquarters in Orlando. And we're independent franchises, but they're still our corporate headquarters. And what I love about it is they were thinking the same thing. So Assurian asked us, how can you take your mobile repair vans that we have right now that we go out to customers and do repairs? And how can we take those and literally change them into charging stations? Because people have been devastated. Their devices are dead. They can't call their family. They can't reach out to their insurance companies. What can we do that's quick? And we literally gutted our vans because it's got a lot of technology in it to repair things. We gutted them and turned them into these mobile charging stations for any type of cell phone imaginable, Macs, PCs. I mean, we tried to think of what would people need to charge.
Sure.
And the thing that was amazing is both companies, Assurian and uBreakiFix, the local team, we didn't know each other. But whenever we got together, we had the same mission and goal, and to help our community. And I got to tell you, it was just like a beautiful experience, because Assurian brought in supplies, hand sanitizer, clothing, stuff like that. And then you had our charging stations so they could grab water or, a fig bar or whatever they needed, along with an Assurian bag that, had a kind of a grab bag of stuff in it. And why they were charging up and the moms and dads were getting power so now they could call their insurance, the kids were over here with Assurian. And they had like little tables set up where they could color or make things, et cetera. And I stood there at one point and I was like, it's the Nashville way.
Yeah.
I mean, here we go again. And so we kept doing that for several days. But then we took it one step further. And Assurian said, okay, so people need more than just their devices charged up. We need to help these people with free repairs. And so we became the arm of the free repair. Assurian provided the screens and screen replacements, and then we did all the repairs. And I got to tell you, there was no hiccups. There was no, I don't know if you qualify or not. It was just, we're going to take care of you. And I knew on the backside that Assurian would take care of us no matter who we were repairing and because we both were coming from the same place, and that was taking care of the community. I think the part that, most people sit there and go, oh, well, you're repairing an iPad or you're repairing a phone. But that's not what it's about. These are now people's communication devices. They're touched with their families, with their colleagues, and et cetera. And there was just story after story of, someone who lost everything, and yet now their device is broken. They can't communicate with anybody, and they're afraid they've lost their data. And we were able to get those photos that were so important to them. And we were able to grab that information that helped them, whether it was a claim for their house or to be able to communicate with their family. And I mean, I don't mean to get really emotional or touchy, but whenever you have someone,
I've been trying not to
literally,
cry for the past 2 minutes. You're doing great. I'm like, okay.
when you have someone that just looks at you and grabs a hold of your hand and just says, you have no idea what your team just did to help me. I mean, it's just not about a business anymore.
No.
It's about you're touching someone's life and you're making a big difference.